Have you ever reacted impulsively to criticism, only to regret your response later? Do emotions like anger, anxiety, or frustration sometimes take control of your reactions, leaving you feeling powerless? We've all faced moments when our emotional responses cause unintended consequences, affecting relationships, work, and our personal peace. Imagine instead having the strength to pause precisely when emotions surge. Visualize yourself calmly responding rather than impulsively reacting, even in stressful situations. This simple pause can profoundly transform your emotional experiences, improving relationships, enhancing your clarity, and enriching your life. This powerful skill, known as non-reactivity, lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy, an ancient yet practical guide to emotional resilience. The Stoics taught that our distress doesn't arise from external events, but from our interpretations of these events. A traffic jam is simply cars stopped on a road, neutral and harmless. Yet one person might feel intense anger, while another enjoys the moment listening to music or a podcast. A criticism from someone isn't inherently painful. It's our perspective that shapes our emotional response. By understanding and applying this Stoic wisdom, you can reclaim emotional freedom by changing your interpretations. In this episode of Our Inner Stillness, a Stoic journey to emotional mastery, we'll explore how to practically apply the skill of non-reactivity in daily life. You'll learn simple yet profound techniques to pause intentionally, respond thoughtfully, and build lasting emotional resilience. I'm excited to guide you through these powerful insights and practices, supporting your journey toward emotional mastery and inner peace. Let me share a story with you that might feel familiar. Imagine Sarah, a dedicated professional who wakes up early, ready to tackle her busy day. She checks her phone, and the first thing she sees is an email from her manager. Her manager's feedback is not just critical, it's harsh, blunt, and dismissive. Sarah feels her heart pounding in her chest. Anger and defensiveness rush to the surface. She begins to type a quick, heated response, fueled by her initial reaction. But then she pauses just for a second. In that brief moment of hesitation, Sarah takes a slow, deliberate breath. She reads the message again, this time with less urgency and more clarity. She realizes her manager's feedback, while harshly worded, may hold some truth. Rather than responding defensively, Sarah chooses to calmly acknowledge the feedback and seeks clarification to understand better. By doing so, she maintains her professional integrity and opens the door for productive dialogue. Later, Sarah reflects on how that single pause changed the entire outcome. She avoided unnecessary conflict and preserved her emotional well-being. Now imagine applying this kind of deliberate pause in your own life. Think about the disagreements with loved ones, confrontations at work, or even frustrations in daily routines. This powerful ability to pause and choose your response deliberately can radically transform your emotional experiences. As we continue, you'll discover practical strategies to consistently apply this powerful Stoic practice of non-reactivity in your life. Together, we'll learn to build emotional resilience, enhance relationships, and create lasting inner peace. Part 1. Understanding Stoicism and Emotion. Stoicism teaches that our emotions and responses are deeply rooted in how we interpret external events. At its core, Stoicism asserts that we are not troubled directly by events themselves, but rather by our perception and interpretation of these events. Consider the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers and Roman emperor, who stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What Marcus Aurelius emphasized is incredibly profound. True power and strength reside within our ability to manage our reactions and perspectives, not in controlling uncontrollable circumstances. Reflect on how often we attribute our emotional distress to external events, mistakenly believing they have inherent power over our well-being. For example, you might feel angered by someone's criticism or frustrated by daily inconveniences such as delays or traffic. Yet these situations are inherently neutral. It's our inner narrative that gives them emotional significance. Consider two individuals stuck in the same traffic jam. One becomes irritated, stressed, and angry, honking at others and feeling overwhelmed by frustration. The other remains calm, perhaps using the extra time to listen to music, audiobooks, or simply enjoying a quiet moment. The difference in their reactions is purely due to their internal perspectives and interpretations of the same external event. This Stoic insight profoundly shifts the responsibility of emotional reactions back to ourselves. It offers both accountability and liberation. We are accountable for our interpretations, and thus we have the freedom and power to change them. The Stoics provided practical guidance on mastering this skill. They advocated regular self-reflection and mindfulness to build awareness of our interpretations and emotional triggers. By understanding that our reactions stem from our judgments, we can begin consciously altering those judgments more so to achieve emotional mastery. Part 2. Identifying your emotional triggers. Another crucial step in mastering emotional non-reactivity involves becoming deeply familiar with your emotional triggers. Emotional triggers are specific situations or interactions that consistently cause you to react strongly, often in ways you later regret. Identifying these triggers is essential for developing emotional awareness and achieving greater control over your reactions. Consider some common emotional triggers: feeling ignored or undervalued, receiving harsh or critical feedback, experiencing perceived injustice or unfair treatment, encountering rejection or abandonment. Each trigger is typically rooted in deeper past experiences and emotional wounds, often tracing back to childhood or early formative years. For example, someone who frequently feels intense anger when receiving criticism may have experienced harsh judgments from caregivers or authority figures during childhood, shaping their sensitivity to criticism as an adult. The Stoics emphasize rigorous self-examination and reflection as foundational practices for understanding and overcoming emotional triggers. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously instructed his students to regularly question their reactions, asking themselves, "What am I really upset about? What deeper belief or fear is this reaction rooted in?" To put this into practice, start by maintaining a simple journal to record emotional incidents. Each time you experience a strong emotional reaction, take a few moments afterward to write down the situation, your immediate emotional response, and any thoughts or beliefs associated with it. For example, you might write, "Today, my coworker criticized my presentation. I felt immediate anger and defensiveness. I realized I believed their criticism meant I wasn't competent or valued." As you continue journaling regularly, you'll start noticing patterns emerging. Perhaps specific individuals, certain types of feedback, or particular situations consistently trigger similar reactions. Identifying these patterns provides invaluable clarity. Once you recognize them, you can start anticipating and preparing for these situations differently. The next step is challenging and reframing your automatic interpretations and judgments. Ask yourself, is this interpretation accurate? Is it helpful or harmful? Could there be another way to see this? Consider an alternative perspective for the coworker's criticism. My coworker's feedback, while blunt, could be intended to help me improve. Their criticism does not diminish my worth or competence. Practicing this reframing regularly strengthens your ability to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Additionally, mindfulness techniques such as breathwork and grounding exercises significantly enhance your capacity to handle emotional triggers calmly. When you notice yourself triggered, immediately focus your attention on your breathing. Slow, deep breaths, inhaling calmness and exhaling tension. Grounding techniques like feeling your feet firmly planted on the ground or noticing sensations in your hands can also help interrupt automatic reactions, bringing your focus back to the present moment and allowing emotional intensity to dissipate. Over time, these practices of journaling, reframing, and mindfulness collectively enhance your emotional resilience, empowering you to navigate emotional triggers with greater composure, clarity, and effectiveness. Part 3, mastering the sacred pause. The power of the pause is central to mastering non-reactivity, and the Stoics viewed this brief moment between stimulus and response as a sacred space. It's in this space that we regain control, choose our reactions wisely, and develop emotional resilience. Viktor Frankl, a psychologist profoundly influenced by Stoic philosophy, articulated this idea eloquently. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Frankl's powerful insight is a reminder of the immense value contained in a simple pause. Imagine the metaphor of music. Without pauses, even the most beautiful symphony would devolve into meaningless noise. Pauses give music rhythm, meaning, and emotion. Similarly, without intentional pauses, our lives and relationships can descend into emotional chaos, filled with impulsive and regrettable reactions. How then can we practically cultivate this powerful pause in our daily lives? The Stoics provided concrete practices to embed the pause into our habitual responses. Foremost among these is the practice of mindfulness, a simple yet profound method for becoming present in the moment. Mindfulness involves focusing on your immediate experiences without judgment or resistance. When you encounter emotional triggers, immediately shift your awareness to your breath. Begin by taking slow, deep breaths, inhaling gently through your nose, holding briefly, and then exhaling calmly and fully through your mouth. This mindful breathing instantly anchors you in the present, breaking the automatic chain reaction of impulsive responses. With consistent practice, this breathing technique becomes a powerful habit, providing an essential buffer zone between emotional triggers and your reactions. Another powerful Stoic practice to nurture the pause involves visualizing potential emotional scenarios in advance. This practice, called premeditatio malorum, or preparation for adversity, allows you to mentally rehearse challenging situations before they occur, reducing the intensity of your reactions in real time. For example, if you anticipate a stressful interaction with a coworker or family member, take a few moments beforehand to visualize the scenario vividly. Imagine them making critical or harsh remarks. Notice your automatic emotional responses, such as anger or defensiveness. Now consciously visualize yourself pausing in that precise moment, taking a deep breath and calmly responding rather than reacting impulsively. This proactive rehearsal conditions your mind, making it easier to access calmness and clarity when the actual situation arises. Over time, you strengthen your capacity to pause consistently, transforming emotional challenges into opportunities for growth and resilience. Additionally, consider incorporating grounding exercises during emotionally charged moments. Grounding is a powerful tool for bringing your attention back to the present moment and interrupting automatic reactions. A simple grounding exercise involves focusing on physical sensations, such as feeling your feet firmly planted on the ground, noticing the chair supporting your body, or identifying 3 specific objects around you. By anchoring your awareness in these immediate sensations, you effectively shift your attention away from overwhelming emotions and impulsive thoughts, regaining control over your responses. Furthermore, the Stoics recommended regularly practicing reflective journaling to deepen your understanding and mastery of the pause. After encountering an emotional trigger, take time later to reflect on your response. Write down what happened, how you felt, and how effectively you managed to pause and respond thoughtfully. Reflect on questions like, what helped me pause successfully? Or what made it challenging to pause in that moment? Over time, journaling provides valuable insights, highlighting your progress and revealing opportunities for improvement. This ongoing reflection supports continuous growth, strengthening your ability to pause and respond consciously. Ultimately, mastering the sacred pause involves developing consistent habits of mindfulness, proactive visualization, grounding, and reflective journaling. These practices, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, empower you to reclaim emotional control, respond intentionally, and foster greater inner peace and resilience. As you consistently cultivate these habits, you'll discover an increasingly effortless ability to navigate emotional challenges with clarity, composure, and confidence, profoundly enhancing the quality of your relationships and overall well-being. Now let's take a moment to practice a powerful Stoic exercise together, designed to strengthen your ability to pause and respond rather than react impulsively. First, find a comfortable and quiet place to sit, free from distractions. Close your eyes gently and take a few deep, calming breaths. Breathe in slowly through your nose, feeling your lungs fill deeply. Hold the breath gently for a moment, then exhale fully through your mouth, letting go of tension. With your eyes closed, bring to mind a recent situation when you experienced a strong emotional reaction, perhaps anger, frustration, sadness, or anxiety. Imagine the scene vividly, recalling details clearly. Notice the surroundings, the sounds, the expressions of the people involved. Allow yourself to reconnect with your emotional response at that moment. Observing how your body reacted, perhaps tightness in your chest, increased heart rate, or clenched muscles. Now intentionally pause the scene in your mind, as if pressing a mental pause button. As the scene freezes, shift your focus entirely to your breath. Take another slow, deliberate breath, inhaling peace, calm, and clarity, and exhaling tension, stress, and emotional intensity. And as you breathe, visualize the emotional energy gradually dissipating from your body. With each inhale, imagine calmness spreading throughout your body, filling every muscle and fiber. With each exhale, visualize yourself releasing negative energy, letting go of impulsivity and emotional turbulence. Next, resume the mental scene slowly and mindfully. This time, visualize yourself responding differently, calmly, intentionally, and with emotional clarity. See yourself choosing your words carefully, maintaining a calm tone and communicating clearly without defensiveness or aggression. Notice the profound difference this attentional response makes, not only in your internal emotional experience, but also in the outcome of the interaction. Observe how your calm response influences the other people involved, possibly diffusing tension and creating space for constructive dialogue. After visualizing this new response, gently return your awareness to your breathing. Take several more slow, deep breaths, anchoring yourself in the present moment. Before concluding this exercise, affirm to yourself the importance of regularly practicing this deliberate pause. Remind yourself that each intentional pause builds your emotional resilience, empowering you to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Commit to applying this visualization and breathing exercise consistently, especially in moments when emotions threaten to overwhelm you. Over time, this simple yet powerful practice will become second nature, profoundly enhancing your emotional well-being, improving your relationships, and increasing your capacity for inner peace. Gently open your eyes, bringing your awareness back to your immediate environment. Notice how you feel calmer, clearer, and more centered. Remember, mastery of non-reactivity is developed gradually through consistent practice. Every pause, every breath, and every intentional response moves you closer to emotional mastery and inner stillness. Remember, the journey toward emotional mastery isn't achieved overnight. It is a path of gradual, steady progress made one intentional pause at a time. Each time you consciously choose to pause instead of react impulsively, you strengthen your emotional muscle, gradually making non-reactivity your natural state. The Stoics remind us that challenges and difficulties aren't obstacles. They're opportunities to practice and reinforce this skill. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Embrace every emotional trigger as a valuable chance to practice the sacred pause, responding intentionally rather than reacting blindly. As you continue to practice these techniques consistently, you'll notice subtle yet significant shifts in your daily life. Relationships improve because communication becomes clearer and less combative. Work challenges become less stressful as you learn to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Even your overall mental and physical health can improve as you experience fewer stress-related symptoms. It's important to be patient and compassionate with yourself throughout this process. Mastery takes time, dedication, and persistence. Don't be discouraged by setbacks. They're natural and expected. Instead, view them as lessons, guiding your future growth and deepening your emotional awareness. Finally, remember to regularly reflect on your progress. Celebrate the small victories, such as moments when you successfully paused instead of reacting immediately. Acknowledge your improvements and reinforce your motivation to continue this empowering journey. Keep nurturing your inner stillness, for within it lies your true strength and freedom. Today we have explored the transformative power of non-reactivity and learned valuable Stoic techniques to help us manage our emotional responses. You now understand the significance of the sacred pause and have practical tools to apply it in everyday life. Embrace these practices consistently, knowing that each moment of intentional pause strengthens your emotional resilience. By doing so, you empower yourself to face life's challenges with greater clarity, composure, and confidence. Imagine the positive impact on your relationships, your work, and your overall well-being as you cultivate this powerful skill. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Inner Stillness, a Stoic journey to emotional mastery. If you found value in today's insights and practices, please subscribe and follow True Stoic Way to continue your journey toward emotional mastery and inner peace. Share this podcast with friends, family, and anyone you think could benefit from mastering the art of non-reactivity. Together, we can build a community dedicated to emotional growth and resilience. Until next time, stay calm, stay centered, and always embrace your inner stillness.